travelers will actually buy things from one single store.
Mm,
But online is one of the key aspects where people love to buy toys. They love to connect with the stories. So it's not about the handicrafts. It's about connecting those story-based system wherein people can relate to their own story, their own motherland, and then maybe buy a product out of it.
Today we have Arijit Bhattacharyya on our podcast. He is a serial entrepreneur, angel investor, public speaker. He is VR expert, a gaming programmer. He is consulting business across the globe. He is mentoring businesses. He is very actively associated with world leading tech, finance, and political organizations. He has experience of more than 24 years and has connections and networks in 95 plus countries. This is one of the greatest achievements Jay Thakkar Show has had to have him on the podcast and to have him talk about AI, crypto, Web 3.0, to talk about philanthropy, to talk about entrepreneurship, business, and also we had a talk about leadership, about leadership personality. We also had talks about content creation and how India is forwarding and making its foundation stronger in different fields and taking the name of our country ahead on global platforms. Enjoy this marvelous conversation with this great personality, Abhijit Bhattacharya. Hello, guys, welcome back to another episode of Jay Thakkar Show. Today we have Arijit Bhattacharya, sir. Sir, you can see nowadays that there are a lot of fintech companies growing nowadays. We have a lot of finance related content as well on social media. So, what do you think is like? How do you feel about their future as we'll be having inclusion of new technologies like AI and Web 3.0?
Interesting, Jay. I will give it in a complete easy way of answering this question. When you look at AI as a technology, AI, to be very very honest, is pretty common nowadays, and of course, 30 years back as well. So AI is almost everywhere. Somehow we missed the point that AI is not about giving a chatbot a response. Chatbot
Mm,
is just one part of AI, right? And when we talk about finance world, when we talk about fintech, we are talking about Web 3.0. AI plays a very vital role. For an example, I'll give you a very, very small example with a relevant industry from probably media tech industry. In
mm,
today's world, as you know, that lot many of the users they usually watch movies in OTT platforms, right?
mm,
Platform like Netflix or Amazon Prime. Those are now popular nowadays. In Indian context or any other context, if your choice of watch is action or thriller based movies, there are system which is being done through AI. You can give choices which is curated for the people, right? At the same time, in the finance world, maybe you are using some kind of dashboard, which is probably from some finance company, and you
mm,
have your own choice and preference to invest in a particular kind of genre. Maybe you love to invest in real estate. Maybe you love to invest in medical companies. Maybe you want to invest in skincare oriented companies.
mm,
So, depending on your personal choice and depending on your own understanding and personalization, nowadays AI plays a vital role, which shows curated data to the audience, to the user, to the customer, that okay, fine, you have done such and such kind of investment earlier, and now the choices are like probably five different choices that they will get. Instead of searching and trying to find from maybe 5,000 of those kind of choices which is there in the platform, they can get curated data which makes their life easy. So
mm,
technology is always to make the life easy, and that's where AI plays a vital role. Talking about Web 3.0, definitely there is a disruption which actually started a few years back, mainly on crypto world. In
Yeah.
crypto world, what I have seen so far, a lot of new coins are there in the market, lot of wallets they started their own operation, and definitely a lot many of those scam actually happen because we are working very closely with the cybersecurity, so we know all those kinds of scams that happened last few years, to be very precise, if I may define that way. So before you choose any kind of coin which you probably want to invest in, you need to understand whether the coin have got a real life present. For an example, if the coin is connected with a real object, it can be a car, it can be a real estate property, it can be a healthcare product, whether these coins are hedged with a real life object or product. If that's the scenario, can you convert these coins into real cash, or maybe convert that with a property? For an example, you have a property and there is a coin and you want to buy that property utilizing that coin, maybe 10% of it or maybe 20% of it. That gives a flexibility of a new coin which is there in the market, and that's the kind of disruption that we are probably looking at and working for. If we don't have that, of course, there is a high risk and it's a hype in the market. That how will you quantify those kind of coins? How will you
Mm.
understand that whether this coin value is X amount of dollars? Until and unless it has got some real life value proposition and connection. So that's the kind of market target that we are probably going through.
Wow, beautiful. So you're also an angel investor, and like in late 1990s and to early 2000s, we've seen that IT industry has rebranded whole India. Now every coder or every IT services people look, they are more confident if there is an Indian uh, Indian person in the market, or there is any Indian services which provides its services. So being an angel investor, which other industry do you think can rebrand India in coming decade?
I will answer this in a different way, Jay. India definitely saw a boom in IT, which is in the service sector. Like
Yes.
Indians are great with services, they are amazing with the outsourcing work. But I personally feel that India needs a lot of product development companies in technology, be that in IT, be that in agri-tech, be that in health tech, be that in FinTech. Those kind of products are already there. People are building it. In fact, in automotive, we have probably seen lot many of those kind of disruption that will happen. Coming from the Indian perspective, the kind of disruption which I will be happy to check, we have a long history of Ayurveda. Jay, don't you feel that we are actually missing
Yeah.
the entire aspect of Ayurveda and health tech?
Yeah.
Thousands of years back, we used to understand how to update and be strong from inside. I mean, in
Mm.
today's world, we have seen TV advertisement talking about immunity boost. But to be very honest, if you used Indian Ayurveda, you really don't need to consume those chemicals. And to be very honest, I am a hater of chemicals which people
Mm.
usually consume in their body. So the next disruption probably from India should be coming from healthcare, utilizing the old values which we have. It's number one. Number two, coming from India, I think it's easy to come up with fashion, garments,
Mm.
textile industry, and definitely on agriculture, which usually enables the entire world to be happy. I'll tell you the reason why I'm taking example of agriculture. If you look at any fast, moving economy, India is such kind of country where we have amazing lands. I mean, our lands are not barren lands, which
Mm.
probably in some places in the world they don't have those kind of flexibilities of doing farming. They have to
Mm.
do lot of effort to do farming and grow some crops in their country. Now, if I am right, Indian farmers are facing a lot of issues because of so many silly things that's happening in the country, right?
mm,
But if we really want to make a disruption as an investor or maybe as a philanthropist or maybe as a change maker, there are people who love to go back to the roots and try to help these farmers to probably sustain and of course grow more and more vegetables, more and more food items so that the world can not be hungry anymore and we can feed the world. And that's the kind of disruption probably I would look for in the Indian economy.
true, sir, very true. And I also feel that like we India as a country has very rich culture, and we have the culture of stories. Every household has their every household's grandparents tells some or the other stories of their ancestor, or the local area from where they belong. These stories come from generation to generation to us, and because of this internet boom, many content creators have come on social media platforms. And I've also talked with one of the uh, great animator production houses, a co-founder of animation production houses in India, and they also said that India also has potential of disrupting the content market. India also has the potential of becoming the IP producer of the world, where because we have so many stories, and now because of internet we have a platform to tell and share those stories to the whole world in different languages. Now Hindi is uh, world's third largest spoken language. Then Bengali is also again in top 10 world largest spoken languages. And because we have now Indian languages being spoken all around the world, we have a good platform through. I feel that we have good platform through social media to disrupt the content market as well.
Definitely, yes. And I'm so glad that you actually picked this up. Uh, Jay, I mean, I'm not sure how many of your audience knows it or not, but as a content producer, mainly on virtual reality and game development, we have been creating Indian content and superheroes from various different cultures. So the way that we create is like we take a real actor and actress, hire them to convert themselves into a 3D digital superhero. In today's world, we call it as a 3D digital human, which
Mhm.
acts, moves, and talks like a real person. And then we create a game title out of it. And there is an ecosystem that we have already created, wherein people usually play. They love to use those kind of characters. So as a content producer, definitely we have been doing it for over 2 decades now. And in those early days, it was really challenging because in 1998 till 2008, the market was not adaptive enough to
Mm.
get Indian content out of India, or rather, probably we didn't knew it. I mean, how
Yeah.
we can make it popular. But Asia, Southeast Asia, gave us those kind of gateway to become popular in those countries, and then eventually we grew the entire content market. Coming back to Hindi and Bengali as a local language, you are right. Now, Hindi and Bengali are well spoken worldwide. And not only now, I would say it was there earlier. We are just getting those reports done, to be very
Yeah.
honest. If you
Yeah.
look at Bangladesh, if you look at Bengal, so Bangladesh, Bengal, we have the same similar kind of language that we speak. It's Bengali.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of tone difference are there. But yeah, Bengalis are everywhere in the world, and Hindi
Yeah.
speaking people are everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So, with those kind of population, with those kind of language, localization of language and content is the key.
Mhm.
And interesting fact is, very recently, one of our portfolio company, they are Bengali content producer. So we have been thinking that is it the time for us as a Bengali content producer to just to stick to Bengali as a Bengali, or we should probably expand the horizon worldwide. So the
Yeah.
answer is we should expand the horizon worldwide, and you are right, definitely yes. So for Indian content, the answer is yes. This is one of the right time where we should actually expand our horizons and verticals to explore the world for the common local language people who actually expanded and moved from India to some other countries, mainly in Europe, in US. You'll get a lot of these kind of people. Not only that, in Middle East you will find a lot of Hindi speaking and Bengali people who
Yeah.
migrated there, and they love to see and watch and play those kind of localized content for sure.
True, 100%, sir. And sir, coming to like you said, that AI is already there in our devices. It's just we are exploring it into larger extent and larger use of it. So, being a philanthropist, what do you think? How these technologies like AI, Web 3.0, and other different technologies will help in uplifting, like, let's say, villages of India.
So I'm not sure how exactly AI will help directly, but yeah, definitely AI will help not directly, but maybe in a different way. For an example, there are applications. I mean, I'll come back to close to my heart subject, which is game development. Unfortunately, the ecosystem is not that strong in India. It's an unfortunate case, but we always try to adopt those kind of Asian games. But Indian made games, we have a tendency not to probably play Indianized games for so many reasons. Maybe we love to explore other people and other content.
Hmm.
And fun fact is, those Asian country people, they love to explore Indian content. So that's where things are nowadays. But yeah, coming back to your question, there are systems where village people, they are great in handicrafts, right?
Hmm.
So they have those old kind of methods of creating handcrafted dresses, or probably the toys, maybe those kind of characters. They have got a lot of folk stories, right?
Hmm.
So if you can connect those folk stories with those kind of dresses as a marketplace,
Hmm.
that's gonna change a lot of these village people. They will get a lot of help. For an example, it's not mandatory that you will be opening up stores in airports for your handicrafts. That's a one way of doing those kind of marketing. I'm not sure how many of travelers will actually buy things from one single store,
Hmm.
but online is one of the key aspects where people love to buy toys. They love to connect with the stories. So it's not about the handicrafts, it's about connecting those story based system wherein people can relate to their own story, their own motherland, and then maybe buy a product out of it. And the money that being generated, it can go directly to these villagers, maybe 70% to 80% of it, which will change the entire village, or maybe a couple of families, and that's going to disrupt the entire industry. And that's what we have been working with, and we'll be more than happy to take this flag forward for the motherland.
True, sir, 100%. And sir, you have been in this industry for, I think, 24 plus years. You've been studying business. You've been around business for more than 24 years. So, sir, what fundamentals have you learned which you can even relate with general life, and which you think that is very important for every one of us to learn and apply?
See, there are two different aspects when you do business. Either you try to become an entrepreneur, you want to disrupt the way the industry works or the way general people think. Second way of looking at it is like you earn money and you only grow vertically, and definitely become really successful, earn a lot of money. But in today's world, what I have learned so far so good, like in 2022, this is month of August. So we started in the month of March in 1998. So it's been 24 plus years where I started the bootstrapped one company, eventually started several different verticals of business, which related to yoga, related to healthcare, related to fashion, with movies, uh, with normal general segment, which is mainly on deep tech, uh, separate vertical, which is on spirituality. What I have learned so far, so good. If you really want to grow, you need to learn and understand how you can be like water, you know.
Mm.
So the concept of being like water doesn't mean that you have to be calm and you will become a monk and sadhu baba. You don't need to be that. Okay, that's their job, that's their responsibility to become calm and give you insights of life, which is of course required. But when you are an entrepreneur, you need to take care of your employees, you need to take care of the business, you need to take care of your family, you need to take care of the society around you, because people are looking at you as an icon if you really want to become an iconic entrepreneur, right? In that space, you don't have the liberty to say that, okay, fine, I'll be, leaving everything and I'll become a monk because I said that I'll be like a water. So the concept of being like water, which I really want to propose to all the youngsters who are probably starting their business, water have a fine property. It doesn't have any taste, it doesn't have any color, it doesn't have any shape, right? So once you start your entrepreneurial journey, try to adopt those qualities. Don't get any kind of color in your life, on your name, and don't be so rough that you cannot adopt things. So be adaptive. Be calm. That's fine. I mean, you can always go for meditations. For some people, they go for workout, just like me. I mean, I go for heavy workout, heavy powerlifting. Some people go for Muay Thai fighting. I have taken interview of a lot of big shots in my life. So, like, couple of people, they find it great that if they are learning some kind of fighting style. It can be Muay Thai, it can be MMA, it can be karate, it can be taekwondo. Depends. It can be karate as well. It doesn't matter. That's one of the oldest fighting style from Bharat, from Sindhu culture, right? So those optimization structures are there. But in life, if you really want to become like water, try to be a good reflector. For an example, if somebody is showing you some kind of attitude and they have got some ego, you don't need to, always act like you are always adaptive. Just be a very good reflector. If your behavior, which you are adopting for, maybe you're having a conversation with him for 5 minutes, but your behavior is like always adaptive enough, then the person in front of you will feel that, okay, fine, I can, take this guy for a ride. So instead of that, show the exact same vibration to that person. So if the person doesn't like it, then just say a word that I'm just your reflection. If you don't like, just check how ugly you are, way you are behaving with me. That's important and required. So I wouldn't say that it's an ego of yourself, but yeah, you need to understand where you should, draw a line, which is line of respect. Some people don't have IQ level to probably use people the way they should have been used. So try to understand that and just give a smile if the person's IQ level is not that high to understand your words. That's fine, right? Being like water means that in some time you need to understand that you can become tsunami, right? So in business as an entrepreneur, when you learn how to become just like water, you will succeed in life. You will have peace of mind. You will never lose your temper. I have been interesting fact. I was actually talking to one of the HR from one of the largest MNC in the world today itself in our gene, and she was telling me that I'm also a human being and I cry because I have my own kind of mindset. But the employees, they usually give me a call for any kind of issue that happens in the company. Like, I have my own kind of mood as well. They need to understand that I cannot just always keep smiling. I have a different kind of mindset. I always try to smile. I always try to help them. But I'm also a human being. So these are the lines coming up each and every time when she is speaking with me, sharing her own kind of agony and her own kind of work pressure. Now, if you have a work pressure, whether you are an entrepreneur or a business person or you are working in some company, you need to understand one very basic principle of life. When you're working, that's your work, right? And when you're working, you cannot just have all your emotions, which is probably affecting your decisions. And that's the reason, Jay, you asked me a very interesting question. That's the reason I always suggest an established company to have, I mean, I would say to have a difference between founder and CEO. A founder is a person who started the company, maybe a couple of people, they started the company, right? They're good at vision, they're good at thought process, they're good at probably operations, maybe. But get someone on board who is a hired role as a CEO, who can take all those kind of rapid decisions, which you can't do. As a founder, you are attached with some kind of your old employees. It may happen. But it also may happen that one particular old employee is not performing well, and you, with emotions, cannot ask him to leave or her to leave. But the CEO, who is coming with those kind of roughness, he or she is supposed to run the company, and for the betterment of the company, if someone is not updating their skill set, well, of course, with a notice period, you can always ask them to leave. And that's the kind of balance that you need in your life. I think this will help a few bit of people. It was a bit of general. I really don't want to go very, very deep into those kind of issues. Sometimes it creates a little bit of vibration. So I think we are good with all your questions.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show. I really hope that you enjoyed the conversation, and I really hope to have you again on the show with different kind of conversation.
Done, done. I'm always in, and I really loved it. It's not like I loved it. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you so much.